Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. And in this tutorial we'll look how to create a realistic looking coverage for the distance terrain. So what's happening when you create close-up terrain, it's look good, but when you try to create forest mostly or some other kind of with the plants look in a distance, you start having this unrealistic look. So let me show you how we can easy way to create those coverage, material coverage. So let's go first create hills, and what I'm going to do is use it normal standard terrain. We'll just go ahead, edit this object, reset, and I want to just create as a peaks. The reason why, so when I start stretching my terrain, just personal preferences, but I like how it's look. So as well, let's go ahead, switch to render to screen, and I want to set this as widescreen. And we'll just go ahead set about 10-11 miles up in air so we can preview our terrain. Okay, I'd like to stretch a little bit more here. Let's add more mountains. So same, we'll create one more. Click edit object, reset peaks. Again, you can do in a way you like it. Again, it's all up to personal like, dislike, which ones. Okay, maybe just slightly lower so we can see more. Okay, let's create a new one. Again, edit objects, reset peaks. Okay, stretching this one. And maybe a few more. Actual one maybe do just fine. Okay, let's preview. So yeah, we have it right here. Very nice mountains. You can see layers and a distance from close and more far away. So let's go see now how we can create materials for this. Okay, let's select our first one, which we have it close up. We'll open material editor, and if you in basic material editor, click on advanced, so we'll switch to this layer. Next, we enable mixed materials. So let's rename this one to the mountains. Okay, so we have two materials. By clicking on this icon, you can enable highlights. So what this does, we can preview easy way how the materials will mix together. Right now, they just make one brown color because they just one overlay of another. What we need to do is work on distribution of materials. So let's go ahead, right click and select edit function. Okay, and edit function, we'll just click somewhere in empty field and create a fractal node. So let's go ahead, create our distribution to fractal node, and we choose altitude. Inside the fractal node, we'll use it simple fractal. You can try experiment with any other ones. And one thing what I want to do, I want to increase contrast difference between those two layers. So I'll pop up roughness, and I will also go ahead and increase the gain. So we'll have a very high contrast. Okay, to increase more amount, we'll just go ahead and drop larger feature down. It's about right, this coverage. Let's click OK. And in preview, you can see how well those two materials already mixed together. So, and one thing what I want to do, it is at that point, enable check cover. So simple blend, they will mix together. Cover, it will slightly and a bitmap embedded one material above other ones, which is give it as better look. As well, right now you can see we have a lot of green ones and almost few of the red. So let's go ahead and mix proportion, push towards red material. The red one will represent our grass, and the green will be maybe like die out grass. So let's go ahead to select our first material. We'll double click to load it, and we'll select the vegetation organic rock. This is material come with Vue as a standard. So let's go ahead, select our red one, and we'll select next to this vegetation. Okay, let's go ahead and preview. This is already look kind of nice mixing, but it's look like a flat coverage. So let's go ahead, select vegetation green. We'll go to the bumps and we'll type about 4 or 5. So we'll have it a very rough look for those ones. As well, when we go on the mountains, we can just slightly pop up smoothness blend, so the edges will blend a little bit nicer together. Okay, click OK. And now if you preview, you can notice because we have it flattened on our kind of brownish dry out, and with the increasing bumpness on a plants, we have it almost look like a distance bushes or some grass. And the best parts, we do not use any ecosystem for this, so it is very fast render and almost no polygon use over that. So let's click OK. And a couple things I may want to modify for this. So I'll just slightly move it to have it increase a little bit more bumpness on a terrain, so it will be kind of lines look a bit more interested. Okay, interesting. Let's go here, maybe just slightly. There you go. Okay, one suggestion is when you work on materials or you're experimenting, trying something new, save your project in steps. On that case, if you did something wrong, you always can come back, or if for some reason your operation or computer crash it, you always can go ahead and restore it. So we'll go ahead, click and save now our project. Okay, at this point, we want to apply this material to our other terrains. So let's go ahead over our terrain preview, click and select copy material. Now we'll go ahead, select all our terrains, right click and paste. At this point you can see we have a very nice distribution, and it's look even without any haze on a simple one. You can see we have it almost like forest distance for its coverage in this. Of course, if we go ahead and we can edit our atmosphere, let's pop up haze and fog just for this. So we can preview a little bit, maybe even 20. Okay. On these cases with a distance, you can see it's look more like a trees on a back with our presettings. So what we've done, in this case, no ecosystem, very fast rendering, and it's look realistic for us. Well, let's take a step more from this. Okay, let's go to our atmosphere. Just reset back to basic. Okay, let's go ahead, select our first terrain. Okay, we'll open editor, and one thing is what we're going to do, we'll select vegetation and we work with ecosystem. The one option what I want to show you, and that is very nice addition to 7 version Vue 7 and 7.5, it's dynamic population. So if we add for all this distance the trees plants and we click on population, you have a few things. One, we have a lot of polygons, and a system may run out of memories because you have huge scale terrains. But with dynamic populations, the system will recreate and create population just only in an area where camera can see. So let's go ahead and enable dynamic populations. Now we'll go to the general tab and we'll add plants. So you can add a plants which you like it. I will just use it alder atom and also late spring. A reason why I want to kind of mix colors with that. So let's go click OK. Okay, let's go ahead and add one more. And I'll just select the late spring one. Okay, We're done here. A couple things I want to do. I want to increase maybe about 70 on the density. As well, I want disable decay need for an object because we have it multiple terrains, and I want actual plants be a little bit on a bottom coverage. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll go on scaling and just slightly reduce it. As well, we go to environment, and one thing you can, if you don't want to have it plants on the top of your hills, just decrease slightly down. Let's do this way. So in that case, we'll want to have it plants on the top of the hills. Okay, click OK, and let's render. Let's look on our image, and a couple of things I want to point. The one nice things you can notice, the trees, because we used the other layer and with mixed materials, they're populating only on a green stuff, so it's with bushes or maybe grass. And on open areas we have no trees, so it's look a little bit more real. Like in a shade, the grass will grow better. We're done right here. Let's go right now. Other ways, we want copy and populate this material with other terrains. So we'll go ahead again, copy material. And remember, I recommend save all of your steps, so in case if something happens, you always can restore and coming back. So now we select our other terrains and we'll paste. Okay, at this point, let's go ahead and render our image. You can see we have a very nice population on the distance, some empty on the hills, on top of hills less. We can apply twink a little bit more with our settings. So let's do this. Let's go select all our terrains. Okay, as well you can see we have a little bit adjustment, so let's disable this one. Okay, we'll go to vegetation and we'll drop slightly down more on this one. We'll have a little bit more open on the hills. Okay, just increase a little bit and drop down on the scaling on ours right here. We'll go on our front terrain, and I want a little bit separate to work on this. So we'll put it scale even down more, so we have smaller trees. Pop up here, and just a little bit adjustment. Okay, let's go ahead, preview our image. Okay, and again, this is in preview mode, so we have a little bit more grain noise, but overall we can see how we have nice clear hills, top hills, and more populating in between, and again it's populating on a green places. So let's few last adjustments. Okay, one other things also, if you want to manipulate with the colors, we can go ahead and assign the color tab, and we can work with variable colors. You can do this several ways. One, by go ahead, click and load it some different type of the material map. So we can modify. And next, go and variable colors. We'll go ahead, edit function. And we'll just same way, just increase. This is one way, and you can do also other ways by going inside color tab and go to our vegetation and change coloring random this way, and I'll show you in a second how to do this. So let's go preview. Okay, and you can see we change coloring overall, so they look a little bit different. And if you are doing other ways, so you can go to your material tab, open our vegetation. So it will be the same, but we just apply to those leaves. Okay, and do from this way using work with the colors as well. Okay, let's go right now to our atmosphere and let's work a little bit on our atmosphere for final image. So let's go ahead and a light, and one thing what I like to do is make ambient light just a little bit desaturated and darker. As well, we'll go a little bit more to sunlight and switch to ambient occlusion. We'll go to the clouds, go ahead and add dark clouds. If you want it, you can add little bit fog between trees, and to do this you just go ahead, select one of the clouds, go make 0 for altitude, and let's set maybe about 10, 11, because our camera about is just below camera, maybe a little bit higher. Again, this one is a clouds, it's how you like it, and again, this is personal reference if you like to create fog this way. For me, I'll just delete it. I'll just have it clouds this way. We'll go to sky. At this point, let's increase aerial perspective to 10. Let's give it us more haze on this. Clouds quality, let's bring to maybe about 0. So it won't be so grainy for our test. And I want increase of fog. So let's give it us a little bit better for the ground fog. And we'll drop haze maybe to 1 kilometer and increase. With this one, I will have it clear, nice looking clouds, but I still have a distance haze on the bottom. Glow intensity, it's overall when you increase haze, it's how we can control how much haze will represent. Okay, let's move this way. I think it's about right now. Click OK. Let's go ahead, set to final image and render. Okay, right here we have a final image, and you can see we have a nice covering with the different color plants just in area we assigned, like a grass, and we have it again plants on the background. And this is by using dynamic population. Again, play more with settings, and remember, save every time when you experiment or try find new stuff. They will save you a lot of time. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please come visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.